Hi.
I'm Dave.
I'm
And
Marilyn.
okay, and we're at the Peiser Institute in Xi'an, in China,
Yeah.
in the middle of ancient China.
Yeah.
So,
It's beautiful here.
and here at a research institute, which actually researches this thing called life. Why do we do what we do? And if we're doing something that's getting us into a lot of problems, how can we do something different, basically? It's a hard question, eh? We're trying to do that all our life, I guess, for some people. So we're introducing ourselves about how do we end up here and why are we here. So you told a very nice story about yourself in the fashion business in LA and what was happening to you and how you ended up here through a series of coincidences.
Yes, many.
So in a way, if you're tuning in, I suppose that's a coincidence. There's something that brought you to watch this and hey, let's see what happens. So for me, I thought I knew stuff, basically. I was in a position of working as a psychotherapist. Even sometimes people said I was a healer. So I was supposed to know things and be able to help people. But the truth is, I was suffering like shit myself. So terrible relationships with my daughters. I was very depressed. I tried suicide. I had a very supportive partner, but just awful arguments with them. We couldn't work out. Couldn't get out of the loop of arguing. And sometimes it wasn't even a reason. It's just like felt so negative. Just the energy was there and just couldn't even talk to each other. It was terrible. So I was suffering like hell, but supposed to be a person who knew stuff, who could help other people. But I was so caught up in my image, I couldn't admit that I needed help because I had to look so good in front of people. So I got to a stage where I was so disillusioned with what I was doing. Suddenly, luckily, I'm a person who wants to know the reason for things. I always have done. And in a way that saved me because I sort of called out once. I was in Beijing in a hotel and I said, I want to understand what's going on basically. Why I'm suffering so much. Why I can't really help my clients.
Like
you know?
me.
Yeah.
You asked for some understanding.
Yeah, and something was listening, and in 2 months' time, I was put in touch with this institute in Hong Kong. But God, that was the start of something really hard because I had so much ego. I was fortunate to meet the founder. His name's David D, who's come up with a lot of these ideas. Or he wouldn't say that actually. He would say he just stumbled on them. He's such a humble guy. He said he never discovered anything. And the first time I met him, I turned my back on him. I wouldn't talk to him.
Wow.
Yeah, I had so much ego.
You wouldn't talk to him. Why? Do you remember why?
Because
Was he saying
I
things
felt,
to you that you felt you had to...
Because I felt
know
such
better?
a challenge. I felt like I need to know more. I can't have someone else even think they know more than me. So it's terrible. So what saved me in a way was that I met him in China and didn't meet him. Then I went back to Australia where I was living, and I think either he wrote to me or something happened, and there was a email channel opened up somehow, and I asked him questions about basically how do things work. You know, I had these list of questions about things I want to understand about. How does life work? You know, quite detailed questions. The sort of questions you might find in a science book or a psychology book or something like that.
Do you remember at all any questions? Any of them? Like an example of a question you asked him?
I think someone was looking at the website for the Peiser Institute and some of the things there about how consciousness forms, how we get a sense of existence. So I think I asked them some questions about that. I've kept it all.
No.
It's like amazing Q&A.
So deep questions.
Very
not
deep
like,
questions.
Yeah.
Questions you don't normally get an answer to.
Yeah.
Right? Like I never got an answer to my whole life.
Yes.
And then, I sent off these questions, or maybe there were 5 or 6, and then nothing back.
Okay.
And then I got quite negative. Who is this guy? He doesn't answer his emails and blah blah blah. And then, and then after about 2 months, this huge frigging long email came back.
Wow.
All the questions were answered with so much detail. And whether or not I believe them, someone had given me an answer. Wow, really?
What the?
So as Marilyn said in her little video just before, it's primal. So basically, what we're learning here in a way is that the reason it's so hard to change, it's so hard for this world to suffer less, is that the momentum started so far back. You know, we usually, when you go and talk about psychology or something, they talk about something that happened in your childhood. Well, in a way, I'll be honest, like, bullshit. It didn't happen in the childhood.
Yeah.
It happened millions of years ago.
Yeah.
Right? So that force, like energy, has been building for that long. You know, that's why we explode so much. That's why when I first met Marilyn, I was scared of her. All right? In a way, I had fantasy she's going to kill me. All right? So where did that come from?
Me, little cute me.
I've only just met her. It doesn't make sense, does it? But actually, it does make sense. All our feelings have a logic. All our feelings come from something. Just we never actually search for the logic or where they come from.
Yeah.
So in a way, that's what we're doing. We're coming up with the reasons for things, and in a way, that reason helps us through the understanding, helps us change. Because once you have an understanding, what seems to reduce is our fears tend to go away. Because now you realize what's happening. You realize where your anxiety comes from.
Yeah.
And maybe you can realize, I don't need it anymore.
Yeah. But understanding, it seems from what you're saying, this is a big learning here, is what's the origin of anxiety? Where does anxiety, which most people today call fear?
Yeah.
Fear. Where does fear originate from? Fear on every level. You know, we fear everything. Everything we do, every logic that we have has fear, has a fear in it, is based on a fear.
Yeah.
That then propels the negativity.
And like the preference. Like you
Preference.
fear you're not going to get something.
That's good, that's bad, I
Yeah.
want that, I don't want that. There's a fear in there that is leading you to think that. And there's also a fear that gets generated from the not having what you want.
Or when you have it, you fear you're going to lose it.
You fear you're going to lose
like
it.
your girlfriend or something or money or
Anything.
whatever, your job.
Yeah.
So like,
Even food.
where does that come from? Yeah, where does that come from?
Yeah,
that
where
sort
does
of
that
thing.
come
So
from?
it actually
Yeah.
is a logic to it. So
Yeah.
that's the reason I think we stayed here. So now with my kids, things have changed so much. They were very sick as well, and they're much better now. I've stopped wanting to kill myself. I stopped about 3 years ago. And I've been here now 7 years. So there been some big changes. Okay, that's my little introduction.
That's his introduction, and that was wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
And so what we'll do is we just wanted to give you a short introduction of who we are, and then we're in the upcoming videos we're going to introduce a little bit more the Institute,
Yeah.
how it all started.
Yeah.
What's the technology involved? What's the understanding that's involved?
Yeah.
And then we'll build from there just to give you a little bit more background and get you acclimated to everything.
Yeah.
And then I think that we can go little by little more into what we do here, because I think that's the part that may interest people a lot. Is since we're in China, we're a little bit far away from everyone and everything. We really wanted to reach out and make sure that people really get what it is that we do here, because honestly, it's really leading edge. It's really advanced, and it's hard to describe unless you really work your way up and explain all of the different steps and components of what we do, right?
Yeah.
You can't just go straight into saying what we do, because it's quite complex, but at the same time, it's incredible, and it makes so much sense. I think it'll resonate with a lot of people what we're doing, and it may even make you interested or curious to want to come out here one day and find out more.
Yeah.
And that's what we're hoping to just share, this information, this knowledge that we've both been gaining, and it's just this needs to be shared with more people.
Because when something works for you,
You wanna share
you
it.
would naturally want to share it.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
if you feel that, wow, other people could benefit, you naturally
Yeah.
want to share it.
God, I feel every single
So-
day that there's so much that we're doing here that could just be helping so many people in the world. And
So our skill is going to
Yeah.
try and be to explain it in a sort of simple way.
we
do our
hope we'll
best.
do our best.
We'll try.
And please, we would love any questions, comments. We love feedback, positive, negative. We don't care. We love feedback because it helps us to learn more about ourselves, recalibrate ourselves. We can self-adjust, and that's the work that we do here. This is actually a platform for self-attunement, which we will get to. This is really, the Peiser Institute is a platform for self-attunement in every
Yeah.
in every way.
And just to say that the basic concept of the body of knowledge is, David calls it the mechanics of life.
Yes.
So what he's trying to say is that this life we live has a mechanism to it.
Yeah.
If you can find out the mechanism, then you can know how to adjust it,
Yes.
if you want.
Yes. But
If
you
you
have
want
to you have to know what's inside.
And you have to be willing to change.
You have to be willing to change. Well, you have to be ready. Also, a lot of people want to change, but they're just not ready. We'll talk about that also. There's a thing that really there's an element, component that is very, very important to going from wanting to change, wanting things in your life to change, but actually having the ability to change.
Yeah, so that's
we
the
can
struggle.
talk-
That's the struggle we've had as well. Because
Yeah.
we're not saying we've learned this, but we struggle as well with it because we want to sort of retain our old program because we're so used to it. It's so strong. So for us to change also, it's hard.
Well, getting out of your comfort zone.
Getting out of
basically.
comfort zone,
Yeah.
that's right.
But
What
we'll
you- what you used
explain.
to.
But we'll explain again. This is the scientific language that
Yeah.
is just so incredible to have here.
Yeah.
Is that we explain things in a way that's very neutral, and it explains like what does it mean to be in your comfort zone? What does that really mean? There's something that makes people remain in their comfort zone. Yeah, so we're gonna try to take those words that are very maybe lay in a way that people use in a very common way, but we're gonna try to go behind the veil of what those words
Yeah,
actually mean.
that's right.
What's behind a person who just stays very stuck in their patterns, stuck in their ways, and doesn't change, no matter how obvious life keeps showing them over and over and over that they need to change or
Yeah.
that things are just not working out for them. What is the mechanism behind that? Right? Because
Absolutely.
I think this could be really revealing for a lot of people as it was to
Yeah,
us. It was like,
yeah.
oh my God, I finally get it. I see why I got so stuck for so many years. And it might just plant a seed in your mind or give you a different way of seeing life, seeing the possibilities. Who knows? It could just give you a different point of view and
Yeah.
and give you a tiny little light at the end of the tunnel if you're struggling or stuck, which we all were. Yeah?
Yeah. That's great.
Okay, cool.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for joining
I'm
us.
looking forward to it.
Me too.
Okay.
Okay, see you soon. Thanks,
later.
guys. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.